Hey, listen up! The Georgetown University debate hall was electric that night, packed to the brim with students, media, and pure, raw anticipation. What started as just another political chit-chat was about to explode into the most jaw-dropping clash of the year. Picture this 18-year-old Barron Trump, a freshman standing damn near 6 and what, sitting at the debate table. He owns the place. Rocking a sharp navy blazer, the kid looked every inch the political heir folks expected him to be. Across from him, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett from Texas, a no-nonsense powerhouse invited to talk about getting young people into politics. Nobody saw the storm that was coming. Barron kicked things off cool, as ice voice steady, like he'd been rehearsing this moment his whole life. Congresswoman Crockett, with all due respect, your record proves you're completely unfit to guide America's youth in political engagement. Boom. The room went dead silent. Students shot each other wide-eyed looks. Cameras rolled. You could feel the tension spike. But what Crockett had up her sleeve, man, it flipped this whole thing on its head. Barron, the so-called giant of Georgetown, wasn't just tall. He dominated. Political science major focused on constitutional law. The kid was scary smart. Professors couldn't stop raving about him. He'd never lost a debate, and the Young Republicans Club blew up 300% since he showed up. This was supposed to be his big moment, his chance to show America the Trump dynasty had a new, brilliant voice. On the other side, Crockett, 43, a former civil rights attorney turned fearless congresswoman from Texas's 30th district, had a rep for slicing through political BS. Viral clips, sharp takedowns. That's her game. And she'd been digging into something big for months, something that was about to shake the room. The debate was on engaging Gen Z in politics, moderated by Dr. Sarah Martinez. 200 students, faculty, and media watched live on C-SPAN while social media buzzed like crazy. Crockett went first, laying out voter drives and real representation, solid professional stuff. Then Barron took the mic. "I gotta question if she's the right person to guide our youth," he said, calm but cutting. "She's all about viral moments, not governance. Her record's pure partisan extremism. How can someone so divisive talk?" Unity phones came out. This was getting messy. Crockett fired back, cool but sharp. "Mr. Trump, before you question my fitness, maybe look at your family's political record." The crowd tensed. Barron's jaw clenched, but he doubled down, standing to his full height. "Let me be clear, Congresswoman. Your grandstanding plays on Twitter, but you're unfit to hold office. Your radical agenda, inflammatory rhetoric, and disregard for the Constitution make you a danger to democracy." Damn, the room gasped. This wasn't a debate, it was a takedown. But Crockett didn't flinch. She sat quiet for a second, then grabbed her phone. "Mr. Trump," she said, voice deadly calm, "before we keep talking about who's unfit, this audience needs to hear something." She held up the phone finger. On play. "This recording from 3 weeks ago is relevant to our chat about political engagement." Barron's confidence cracked. "What are you doing?" he muttered. She stared him down. "I'm about to show everyone the kind of engagement you've been doing behind closed doors." She hit play. Crystal clear audio filled the hall. Barron's voice, no mistaking it. "I don't believe half the stuff I say in debates. It's all positioning. Dad taught me, say whatever gets you power, then do what you want." The crowd froze. He kept going. "Crockett, she's smart, not that radical. I agree with her on climate change, justice reform, even economics. But calling her dangerous plays with my crowd. Politics ain't about truth. It's narrative. You tell people what they want to hear." The recording cut off. Silence. Barron looked pale, rattled, like a kid caught red-handed. Crockett stood up, her presence huge, despite the height difference. "Mr. Trump, you called me unfit, questioned my integrity. But this recording, it shows you don't believe your own attacks. You admit I'm qualified. Admit you agree with me. Admit this is all theater for your brand." Students recorded on their phones, stunned. So who's unfit? The Congresswoman fighting for her people, or the guy lying to his audience, building a persona on deception? Barron stammered. "That's not... I didn't mean..." His usual slickness was gone. Crockett pressed harder, looking right at the C-SPAN cameras. "This is what's wrong with politics. Young folks entering the game, seeing public service as performance art, thinking leadership's about saying whatever gets you power." The room erupted in real, raw applause. Barron was done, defeated at 18 in a way he'd never seen coming. By the end, the hall was chaos. Students buzzed, posting clips online. Barron exposed trended fast, hitting the top spot on Twitter in hours. The viral moment of Crockett playing that recording, zooming on Barron's shocked face, got shared 100,000 times in an hour. Conservative Twitter Imploded supporters felt betrayed. "How do you build a movement on lies?" one tweeted. Liberals cheered Crockett's takedown. "She proved he's the unfit one. That's how you handle a bully," another posted. News networks looped the footage. CNN called it a stunning fall from grace. MSNBC hammered the cynicism in Barron's words. Fox stayed quiet, awkwardly dodging. On campus, Barron's shine faded hard. Young Republicans' membership tanked 60% in a week. Students felt conned. "I changed my views for him and he didn't even believe his own arguments," one said. Barron vanished from the spotlight. His planned courses canceled his confidence shot. His statement about the recording being out of context felt hollow. Even Donald Trump's defense was weak, just a quick fake news jab. Crockett, though she soared. Donations spiked 400%. Her followers jumped by $200,000. Dems eyed her for bigger roles. She wasn't just destroying a kid, she was exposing the rot in political games. "Voters deserve leaders who believe what they fight for," she told CNN. This clash became a case study in authenticity. It showed how fast perception flips when truth comes out, and how preparation and principle can crush performance. So can Barron bounce back? Maybe. He's young, got the name, the resources. But this hit cuts deep. Trust is brutal to rebuild when you're caught faking it. His political future cloudy as hell. Crockett, though, reminded everyone what real leadership looks like. In a world of political theater, moments like this are a gut check on what democracy should be. What do you think? Can he recover, or is he done? Drop your take below. So, where do we go from here? That Georgetown debate didn't just end when Barron Trump stumbled out of that hall, shell-shocked with his security detail hustling him through a side door. Now that was just the beginning of a political earthquake. The ground kept shaking for weeks, months even, and the aftershocks they're still being felt. First off, let's talk about Barron. Kid went from campus king to persona non grata overnight. Before that recording dropped, he was the guy at Georgetown. Students flocked to hear him speak, hanging on every word like he was the second coming of political genius. Young Republicans saw him as their golden ticket to relevance. But after Crockett played that tape, where he straight up admitted to playing everyone for fools, saying stuff like, "Politics ain't about truth, it's narrative," the vibe flipped hard. Membership in his club tanked. 60% gone in a week. Kids who'd been chanting his name were now whispering, "Man, I feel played." One sophomore, Sarah Chen, put it raw. "I shifted my whole worldview because of his arguments. Now I know he didn't even believe him." That's betrayal. Barron tried to save face with a statement through his lawyer, claiming the recording was taken out of context and whining about it being a private convo. But, come on, man. When you're caught on tape saying you're faking it, that excuse don't fly. Social media tore it apart, pointing out the irony of him crying political theater when he'd admitted that's his whole damn playbook. Even his dad, Donald Trump, who's usually quick to throw down for family, barely mustered a tweet. Barron's young learning. Fake news loves attacking us. That's it. No fire, no fight. That silence spoke louder than any rant. Even Trump world knew this was a gut punch. 6 months later, Barron was a ghost on campus. No more dominating class discussions. No more packed rooms for his speeches. That spring course he was going to teach on conservative philosophy canceled. Not enough sign-ups. Students noticed he'd withdrawn, looking like a dude rethinking his whole life. Was he done with politics for good? Hard to say. At 18, he's got time to pivot, maybe rebuild with a mea culpa and a new angle. But trust, that's a beast to win back once you've been exposed as a fraud. The Trump name gives him a lifeline, connections. Cash a loyal base if he plays it right, but this scar ain't fading easy. Now, let's flip to Jasmine Crockett. Woman didn't just win, that night she owned it. She turned a personal attack into a masterclass on integrity. Post-debate, her star shot through the roof. Her congressional office saw donations spike 400% in a week. Social media blew up with 200,000 new followers overnight. Dems started whispering her name for bigger gigs. Senate runs, national roles. She wasn't just a Texas rep anymore. She was a progressive heavyweight. On CNN, she kept it real. This ain't about crushing a young man. It's about exposing the cynical games in politics. Voters deserve leaders who mean what they say. That line stuck. People felt it. Her takedown became textbook material. Political communication classes across the country replayed the footage, breaking down how she stayed cool under fire, timed that recording drop perfectly, and used it to hammer a bigger point about authenticity. She didn't just humiliate Barron, she challenged the whole damn system. Within a year, she was floated as a Senate contender. Her committee assignments beefed up. Crockett became the face of what real political grit looks like. But the story ain't just about two people. That clash lit a fire under bigger questions. The recording, snagged by a Georgetown journalism student named Jaime Martinez, sparked debates on ethics. Jaime came forward weeks later, saying I wasn't trying to trap him. I asked about his views and he got real candid. I figured students deserve the truth about who they're backing. Some called it a privacy violation. Others said, nah, if you're attacking someone's fitness for office, your own game's fair to scrutinize. Most agreed. Once Barron threw that unfit jab, he opened the door. This whole mess became a mirror for American politics. Analysts like Dr. Jennifer Walsh from American University nailed it. When young leaders treat politics as a reality, show it guts democracy. This recording exposed what many suspect. Some politicians pick positions like outfits, not principles. Conservative pundits who'd hyped Barron as the smart Trump struggled to spin this. The narrative of him as a fresh, principled voice shattered. Even Fox News, usually a Trump shield, couldn't muster much defense. MSNBC and CNN, though, they ate it up, looping the clip with headlines like Georgetown, shocker Barron Trump's cynicism exposed. 2 years down the line, the dust still hadn't fully settled. In a rare interview, Barron reflected, that debate was a wake-up call. Politics as performance versus service. I learned the hard way your private beliefs gotta match your public stance. 'Cause the truth always comes out. Real growth or just another calculated move, who knows? He'd stepped back from the spotlight, focusing on studies or whatever. But the jury's out on whether he'll ever reclaim that political shine. Crockett, though, cemented her legacy. She didn't just win a debate, she reminded everyone what leadership should be. That recording didn't just tank one guy's ambitions. It screamed a message: authenticity matters. Voters can smell BS from a mile away, and in the long game, principle beats performance every time. So, here's the big question. Can Barron claw his way back into politics, or is this the end of his road before it even started? And what does this say about the future of political discourse in America? Hit me with your thoughts. Is redemption possible for a kid caught playing the game too hard, or did Crockett's knockout punch close the book on him? Let's talk. Man, if you thought the Georgetown debate fallout was going to fizzle out after a few months, think again. That clash between Barron Trump and Jasmine Crockett wasn't just a viral moment. It became a damn cultural touchstone. Years later, people are still dissecting it, using it as a yardstick for what's wrong and what's right with American politics. Let's break down where things stand and where they might be headed. For Barron Trump, the road ahead looks like a steep, rocky climb. 2 years after getting humiliated on that stage, he's still a shadow of the confident giant who once owned every room at Georgetown. Campus Buzz says he's kept his head down, focusing on academics. Maybe even switching majors to something less political. Word is, he's dabbling in history or economics now. No more fiery debates, no more packed young Republicans meetings. That dream of being the next Trump political star, it's on life support. Some close to him say he's genuinely shaken, rethinking everything. In that rare interview when he called the debate a wake-up call, a few folks wondered if he meant it. Could he come back with a new, honest vibe? Maybe apologize, own the deception, and rebuild as a reformed figure? It's a long shot. Trust is a fragile thing, and when you're caught on tape admitting you're playing people that stink, don't wash off easy. But here's the flip side. He's a Trump. That name alone gives him a built-in network, deep pockets, and a chunk of loyalists who'd back him just 'cause of the family brand. If he plays his cards right, lays low for a few more years, maybe does some quiet charity work or grassroots stuff to show growth, he could stage a comeback. Politics loves a redemption arc, especially for someone so young. Hell, he's only 20 now in this story. A decade from now, if he spins this as a dumb kid mistake and pairs it with real policy chops, some might buy it. But the internet never forgets. That recording will haunt him. Every Google search, every campaign ad, it'll resurface. Opponents will play it on loop. So, can he recover? Possible, but it's gonna take a hell of a lot more than charm and a famous last name. He's gotta prove he's not just another political actor. Now, Jasmine Crockett. She's riding high and ain't slowing down. That debate didn't just boost her profile, it launched her into the stratosphere. 3 years out, she's not just a congresswoman from Texas anymore. She's a national figure. After the 400% donation surge and social media explosion, Democratic leadership took notice. They fast-tracked her into high-profile committees, and by the next election cycle, she announced a run for Senate. Her campaign leaned hard into that Georgetown moment, framing her as the voice of authenticity in a sea of political fakes. Clips of her staring down Barron cool as steel, while dropping that bombshell recording became rally staples. Voters deserve the truth, not theater, she'd say, and crowds ate it up. She won that Senate seat in a landslide, cementing her as a progressive titan. Pundits now toss her name around for even bigger roles. Governor, maybe even a VP slot down the line. She's the real deal, and that debate proved it. But Crockett's win wasn't just personal. It shifted the convo around politics itself. That recording Barron admitting he's faking it for clout became a lightning rod for how folks view politicians now. Young voters, especially Gen Z, started demanding more transparency. Hashtags like Truth Over Theater trended for months after. Apps and platforms popped up to fact-check politicians' private statements against their public ones. Activist groups began pushing for laws on campaign honesty, arguing that if you're caught lying about your core beliefs, it should disqualify you from running. It's a pipe dream, sure, but the sentiment stuck. Crockett's takedown made people question every slick-talking candidate. Are they another Barron became a legit concern at town halls and debates. Her victory forced a reckoning. Politics ain't a game show, and treating it like one can cost you everything. Speaking of that recording, the ethical debate around it rages on. Jaime Martinez, the journalism student who snagged Barron's confession, faced both praise and heat. Some hailed him as a hero for exposing hypocrisy. Others slammed him for breaching privacy, arguing a private chat shouldn't be weaponized. He stood by it in interviews. If you're a public figure attacking someone's integrity, your own better be clean. I gave the public the full picture. Legal experts weighed in, saying recording laws vary by state, and since this was D.C., it might have been dicey without consent. But public opinion mostly sided with disclosure. Once Barron threw punches, his backstage talk became fair game. Journalism schools now use this case to teach the line between ethics and impact. It's messy, but it changed how political reporting works. Expect more gotcha tapes in the future. Culturally, the Georgetown showdown is still a benchmark. It's referenced in rap songs, memes, even late-night comedy skits. Pulling a Crockett means dropping a truth bomb at the perfect moment. Getting baroned is slang for getting caught in your own lies. Netflix even dropped a docudrama about it, hyping the clash as the debate that broke politics. Students at Georgetown still talk about that night like it's legend. Some claim they were there, even if they weren't. The university itself faced scrutiny too. After the recording raised questions about academic integrity, they tightened policies on public discourse, requiring students in political roles to sign ethics pledges. Barron wasn't punished directly, but the message was clear: play straight or pay the price. So where does this leave us? For Barron, the future's a coin toss. If he wants back in, he's got to rebuild from scratch, ditch the Trump playbook he bragged about on tape, and show real conviction. Maybe he steps away from politics altogether, carves a quieter path in business or law. Or maybe he doubles down, leans into the controversy, and rallies the die-hard Trump base who don't care about authenticity as long as he owns the libs. Either way, he's a cautionary tale. For Crockett, she's proof that principle and prep can slay giants literally and figuratively. She's shaping the next wave of leaders who know voters crave the real over the rehearsed. Bigger picture, this saga is a wake-up call for democracy. In an age of spin and sound bites, moments like this cut through the noise. They remind us politics ain't just about winning, it's about meaning what you say. So, what's your take? Can Barron rewrite his story, or is he toast for good? And does Crockett's win signal a shift toward more accountability in politics? Or was this just a flash in the pan? Drop your thoughts below. This ain't over, not by a long shot.